Now, the next part of day two is talking about how to get more followers. Obviously, the key thing in Twitter is to get people following you so that when you send something out, you have a potential set of traffic there for you. And that's not going to happen overnight. In fact, even once you have thousands of followers, it doesn't really guarantee a huge spike in traffic just because you tweet something. Sending out a tweet is only going to get seen by a handful of people at any given time. But the key thing here is to get followers and get as many engaged followers as you can. So having 10,000 followers, set up all by software tools is not nearly as powerful as having, let's say, 100 followers who you talk to every single day. If you talk to 100 people every day, they're going to listen to you when you say something. So right now, let's talk about this slide. This video is not a demo per se. It's more just an overview of the most common ways and most powerful ways to get followers. So let's go through them one by one. The first way and the most obvious way, and we've already talked about it, is to follow people. When you go out there and you start following people that are similar to you, just like I did with my video following people who are interested in comedy and funny videos and so on, there's a good chance that those people will follow back once they take a look at who I am. I mean, if I was following them and I had some really weird name and I didn't fill out my profile and I didn't have a picture, they probably wouldn't follow me back. But because I'm obviously a real person and I'm promoting something real, they're probably going to follow me. So that's the first way. Following people, and follow people frequently. Do it every day if you can, and you'll notice your follower count grows. Next is to send frequent tweets. I'm going to talk a little bit in a little bit of what type of tweets to send, but for now I'm just going to say that the more often you use Twitter and send things out, the more often your name gets out there, then the more often you will pick up followers. There's a higher percentage chance that you're going to say something that shows up in someone's search feed or just connects with somebody, and what you said caught their eye, and they're going to follow you. As a Twitter user myself, I've been using Twitter for over 3 years, and I can tell you that whenever I see an interesting tweet, even if I'm not following that person, if it caught my eye, I'll follow that person immediately just because I think they offer something of value. And that's what a lot of Twitter users do anyways. So getting in the habit of tweeting is a great thing. We don't really go into it in this course, but if you set up your mobile phone, if you have a smartphone of some sort, when you're out and you can use an application like Foursquare that says where you are. You check into a local restaurant, that sends it out to Twitter. You'll connect with people who eat at the same restaurant, and so just getting in the habit of tweeting things will get you followers. Another great way of getting followers is to actually engage with people. And we're going to talk about this on another day when we actually get into how to send tweets and how to use Twitter from a tweeting perspective. But I will mention right now that when you reply people, that's when you put an symbol beside someone's Twitter name and direct a message directly at that person. They feel special because you're talking to them in a public forum, and it helps promote their name a little bit. So there's a good chance they'll follow you back if they're not already following you. So sending replies and sending retweets. When you repeat someone else's information, you help spread the word for them, good chance they're going to follow you. Another one is to use keywords. Now what I mean by this is there are certain keywords that people in certain industries will be in Twitter looking for. And as a Twitter user, I know this. I know that, for example, people search for the word internet marketing, internet marketer when they're in Twitter. And I know for a fact that if I send out a tweet that's not just garbage, but it says something with the phrase internet marketing in it, I'll pick up 5 or 10 followers just off that one tweet, because there are people who run a search feed constantly looking for people who are internet marketers, and they want to connect with them and ask them questions and probably market to me as well. But the whole point is that they'll follow me right away because I'm an internet marketer and I'm talking about internet marketing. So you can do the same thing, whether it's dog training or health and fitness or vegetarian. It doesn't really matter what it is. But if you talk about keywords that you're interested in and specifically put them into your tweets, you will pick up followers because those people are searching for those keywords, and they're going to assume that you're the kind of person that talks about that stuff, and they're going to want to follow you. Another thing is to talk about trends. We're going to get into trends again a little bit later in this course, but trends are something that is very easy to pull out of Twitter. There are things that will trend on any given day, at any given hour really, where you can actually go into Twitter and ask Twitter, tell me what's trending right now. What's a word or a phrase that people keep talking about. And you'll see this happen a lot with news stories. If there's, if there's a big tragedy in the news, or if there's some kind of, student rally or a protest or anything like that going on, or it could be, a product launch happened, or maybe a product failed when it went to market. All kinds of people are complaining about this thing. That will trend, and if you start talking about the trend, there's a good chance people will be searching for the trend. They'll find you and maybe follow you. So none of these are guaranteed strategies, but they're things you should definitely try if you want to pick up followers. And then finally, talk about famous people. Uh, like it or not, people love to follow famous people and talk about them and rave about them if they're fans of them and so on. And so if you are a fan of somebody and you're out there on Twitter talking about them, then you'll likely get picked up by fans of the same person. So I used that Tom Arnold example earlier. If there is some rabid Tom Arnold fans out there that see me tweeting about him, they might follow me. So those are sort of the biggest strategies you can use to gain followers. There's certainly other strategies as well, and we'll be diving into some of these topics as we move forward as well.